At my ex-wife's wedding reception, I attended not out of joy but out of respect. We had ended things amicably a year ago, and she was marrying someone she'd met months after our divorce. I had moved on, or at least that's what I told myself. But showing up in front of all our mutual friends, most of whom had taken sides when we split, was harder than I thought. The venue was beautiful, filled with laughter, music, and celebration. People clinked glasses, danced freely, and smiled for the cameras. I sat at the edge of it all, quietly sipping from my glass, unsure if my presence was a brave decision or a foolish one. I noticed a few people glance my way, whispering behind napkins and giving tight-lipped smiles. 3 of my old friends, guys, I used to hang out with during our marriage, walked over to my table. I greeted them warmly, hoping to at least reconnect as friends. But instead of casual chat, they began teasing. One smirked, "Man, how does it feel seeing your ex looking happier than ever, without you?" Another added, "Maybe you were just a warm-up act for the real guy." I forced a smile, trying not to let their words get to me. They laughed louder than necessary, drawing attention. A few guests turned to see what was happening. I could feel my face burn, but I stayed silent. The third friend leaned in and said with mock sincerity, "Don't worry, man. Some guys are meant to be practice husbands." That one stung. Before I could respond, I heard heels clicking on the marble floor behind me. It was my ex-wife. She had clearly overheard the last part. Her expression was unreadable, and she looked from me to the 3 men standing around my table. The room went quieter. She stepped closer and placed a hand on my shoulder. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said loudly, getting everyone's attention, "I just want to say something about this man right here." The band went silent and all eyes turned to us. The 3 guys backed up a step, suddenly uncomfortable. She continued, "This man gave me years of loyalty, laughter, and support. Our marriage didn't work, but not because he was a bad husband. He was patient when I was difficult. He was kind when I didn't deserve it. And more than that, he taught me what love really means. Without him, I wouldn't have known how to recognize it when it finally came. I was frozen." Her words were unexpected, sincere, and raw. People nodded, and I saw expressions soften around the room. Even the groom gave a small, respectful nod from across the hall. The 3 friends looked like they wanted to disappear into the floor. She smiled gently at me, her voice quieter now. "You didn't lose me. You helped me grow. And for that, I will always be grateful." Then she gave me a quick hug and walked back to her husband, leaving a stunned silence behind her. No one mocked me after that. In fact, a few people came up to shake my hand and talk. Some apologized for how they'd acted during the divorce. I realized then that respect doesn't always come when you demand it. It sometimes shows up in the most unexpected ways. The rest of the night felt different. I didn't feel small anymore. I felt seen. And as I left the reception, I wasn't weighed down by bitterness. I felt free. Her words had done something powerful. They reminded me of my worth. And that maybe, just maybe, better things were still ahead for me. That night I didn't cry. I didn't sulk. I walked into the quiet evening with my head held high, knowing that even though our story ended, I hadn't been the villain, and in her eyes I never really was.